So had you seen this before?
No, not this one at least.
Okay, so we're doing Halloweens. We're doing the first one, the most recent one, and then the new one. And then I, at least, whether or not you do is up for debate, but I will be doing all the others when the inevitable next Halloween movie comes out. So I'll get there. Just not yet. She thought this was going to be Friday the 13th when we started. She's like, isn't it the mom in this one? So, not seen Halloween before. I know you said we gotta go quick.
No, I don't necessarily have to go quick.
I didn't write down that many notes. Weird thing about Lindsay, which is the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to, choose our words carefully. That actress comes back in one of the reboots, and she becomes one of the teenagers, and is shown in scenes similar to the teenagers in this film. And it's really weird, just knowing that that's the little girl, and I don't like it. Horror movies don't do that. Don't bring child actors back to be in compromising situations in further installments of your movies. I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I don't like that. We got to talk about slashers.
Yeah, I don't know the difference between a horror movie and a slasher.
I want to end on that. So we'll come back to that.
Okay, we'll come back.
Most of this movie is long shots where nothing happens. Michael is only 21 years old in this movie, which is weird to me. But that's how the math checks out. Which means in the new movie that's coming out now, Halloween Kills, he's 64. Which is old, but not as old as I thought he was. Because I always thought he was older in this one. So there's that.
Halloween Kills doesn't necessarily have to be taking place in 2020/2021.
I think that's what it's intended to be, though. Because, there's a lot... The firearms that she uses and the technology and everything is more or less modern day.
Okay.
So, 62, 63-ish. There's a lot of weird contradictions in this movie. Like, they say that the two houses are three doors down, but they're actually across the street. And Annie throws some kind of liquid from a mug onto herself and then later says that she spilled butter on herself. And there's weird innuendo that doesn't actually mean anything, at least not now. Maybe it did in 1978. I don't know. But were you going to add anything to that? I'm trying to rush through so we can talk about slashers.
Wait, what did you just... Oh, so she was holding a mug, right? And she goes like that with it.
You know what it's like?
And it spills up onto her. And I think it only hits her shirt, but it looks like water coming out of a mug.
It looks like one of those infomercials when they're like, don't you hate it when you spill a cup of liquid butter on yourself and then have to walk to the other building on the property where the laundry is and take off all your clothes to clean your shirts? This is a strange movie.
Yeah. Okay, so she has a mug full of liquid. She spills it on herself. It looks like water.
I didn't turn that other light on. I think it's fine. Continue.
It looks like water. And then she's like, oh, heck. Gotta get all of my clothes off to wash my shirt. And then she tells Lori that she spilled butter on herself. And Miller was like, why do you have a mug full of liquid butter to begin with? Anyway,
there's a scene in this movie where we see the shop that Michael has broken into and the cops are there. And they're like, what happened? And the guy's like, no big deal. Someone just stole masks and rope and knives. That's all. And it's like something to conceal their identity and then bind victims and then kill them, yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah,
Totally fine.
He was like, oh, just some kids, probably.
You know,
and then
like,
he was like, they stole a mask and some rope and some knives.
If they had said, like, you know, all they stole was, like, duct tape and a hammer, then it's like, okay, those are things that you can use to kill people, but those aren't necessarily the first things that you think of. But, like, a mask and rope and knives.
Yeah, like...
Which, by the way, I don't think he ever used rope. Unless that's how he hung one of the dead bodies that was, like, swinging later. I don't know. This movie's weird. I know everyone loves this movie, but it's weird. Last thing I gotta say before we talk about slashers is that everyone says that this theme song is in 5/4 time, and even John Carpenter, who wrote it, says it's in 5/4 time, but it's not. It's in 10/8 time. So, at one point, she was like, she either said that it wasn't scary or asked if it was supposed to be scary or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, it's not really a horror movie. It's a slasher movie. And then I realized that I'm a lot older than you. And slashers were a big deal when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not really as big of a deal anymore. So I'm curious as to what the public view on slashers is. But, like, to me, slashers are a subset of horror movies, but they're not really supposed to be scary. Slasher movies are about the experience of seeing the monster, which is usually a person, just going through people. Right? So, like, the Halloween movies, Friday the 13th with Jason, Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger, the Scream movies. It's like, it's more about how many victims there are and how creative the kills are. And, like, that's what slasher movies are more about. It's about the experience of watching them. It's not necessarily about being scared.
Okay.
That's my perspective. It's my...
Did we talk about the magic knife?
No, other people have talked about the magic knife. So I don't feel the need to. There's a magic knife that holds the guy in the door fighting against the force of gravity. It's the world's strongest kitchen knife. Or the world's strongest door?
Or the world's lightest man?
The world's lightest man. That actually makes the most sense. It's the world's lightest man. I think we did it. I think we did a short video.
We did a short video.
But we got everything I wanted to talk about. Anything else?
I mean, overall, it wasn't a bad movie. She got, like... She's not, like, paranoid or, like, more aware when she knows she's being stalked. She just gets really sad.
I've seen other people talk about this, so I don't claim to take this as my original thought, but I think the thing that bothers me most in this movie is that after she's seen this guy like 4 or 5 times and has shown that she's paranoid, when Tommy is like, there's a creepy guy out there, she's like, Tommy, you're so stupid.
Well, he says the book...
I'm going to turn the TV off because of how stupid you are. And it's like, come on. You just said earlier in the movie you're supposed to be smart. Put these things together.
Well,
I tried doing that, and then my fingers didn't go together. So there we go. That's what I wanted to do.
See, if a little kid walked up to me and they were like, the boogeyman is outside, I wouldn't think it's an actual person. I would think they just, like, saw, like, a monster type thing. Because, like, when I think boogeyman, I don't think person.
I wonder if that's a cultural shift from then to now. But, like, I would just think they saw something creepy, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I've also seen creepy things today. Maybe I should check out what they're saying and not, immediately discount what this boy is telling me. Because he's not, like, 4, right? He's a little kid, but he's not 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, lots of people like this movie. I own all of them. It's not very good, though.
Not.
It was made for very little money, and it sparked a huge following, and it didn't start the slasher craze, but it really like bumped it up a notch. So like I respect this movie. It's not a very good movie though.
Okay.
15 minutes. The last 15 minutes is when things actually happen in this movie.
So
My nose itches.
he let me know that the leaves, like the leaves are painted on the ground. Not like painted on the ground, but like they're painted
To look like autumn leaves.
Yeah.
Because they didn't shoot in the fall, which is why all of the trees are green.
All of the trees are green, the grass is still green.
There's
there's like bushes and stuff.
There's like weird like fruit trees with like what do you call small fruit? Not saplings, but like little tiny oranges and lemons and things. So it's like spring, early spring when things are starting to bloom. I don't know how plants work. I don't like plants. But not autumn.
That'd be like end of spring, early summer probably.
Alright. Well, there you go.
But yeah, I was like, why didn't they just wait until the fall? Maybe collect more money? But apparently that's not how movies work, so.
Nope. Also, other people have said this too, but you said something that made me bring it up, which is that anytime Michael Myers isn't on screen, he's just sprinting. He's sprinting to hide from the people that he just was exposing himself to. Not like that, but being allowed to be seen by.
He'd be in a shot, and then it'd cut to the person looking at him, Laurie most likely. So it'd be Michael Myers, Laurie looking at Michael Myers, and then back to where Michael Myers was, and he'd just be gone. And I was like, world's fastest man right there. He must be quick.
Yep. Indeedy.
Indeed, a Rooney Dooney.
At one point, she asked why Michael Myers is the way he is, and I gave her 3 different answers based on which movies you follow, and that's probably not all of them. So, Tommy, the character of Tommy, comes back in a later movie, played by Paul Rudd, and I think it's Paul Rudd's first movie. It's great. I mean, it's bad, but it's great.
It's bad, but it's great.
Yep.
Isn't Paul Rudd Mike and Friends?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's Ant-Man in Ant-Man.
I know.
Alright, I think we're done talking about Halloween. I wore orange and black just for this.
I did not wear orange and black. In fact, I wore some flamingo shorts.
So you wore summer attire, like when the movie was filmed, whereas I wore Halloween attire like when the movie is set.
Yeah. I'm wearing a
so
Mount
we match
Olympus.
just as well as the movie does.
I'm wearing a Mount Olympus hoodie, which is in Wisconsin Dells. I go there every summer. It's a great time.
Now they're all going to go try to find you there.
In Wisconsin Dells?
Yep.
I don't live there.
But they're just going to go and wait for you. Like Loomis just waiting at Michael Myers' house. Loomis is the worst, by the way. I didn't write that down, and other people have said why, but Loomis is the worst.
Why is Loomis the worst? Loomis is the therapist, right?
Yes. And as the therapist, the man who's supposed to help this child, his conclusion is, this child is pure evil and needs to die.
This child who just killed his sister is looking at me emotionless, like he can't process what he just did. I'm gonna keep him in a psych ward for the rest of his life.
Loomis is the worst. And like, I don't think it's ever said one way or the other, but there's been people have talked about like, is Michael Myers his only patient? Because if so, then like, he's done nothing for 15 years. And he's just been getting paid to do nothing. But if not, if he has other patients, it's like, I feel bad for those other patients because Loomis is the worst.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so, yeah, like a 6-year-old boy who just killed his parents, stood outside with.
He killed his sister.
Killed his
He didn't
sister.
kill his parents.
No, he stood outside very awkwardly with his parents.
In one of those long shots where nothing happens.
Yeah.
Which is most of this movie.
But he's standing outside, and then, like, they don't address it. So his parents probably didn't talk about it. They probably just took Michael Myers inside, found his sister dead, and they were like, "Yeah, you're going away for a while, probably." And
I mean, fair.
it is fair.
Fair on the parents, but like as the therapists, you're supposed to like get through to them.
Yeah.
And you're just like, nah, he's evil. Don't let him out.
Yeah, because he's like Are you?
I'm mocking you. I'm sorry. I'm just jealous. I have no hair.
You cut it all the time.
I know. Any other thoughts?
What other thoughts do I have about this movie? Yeah, Loomis is kind of the worst. That nurse in the beginning, she's kind of weird. She doesn't come back in. I thought she'd have more to do.
I think the implication is that oh no, I guess she didn't die because she was left there. But then there was that other random trucker. Not trucker, but guy who drove a truck that was dead.
Yeah.
That was never discovered. Poor guy.
Poor.
All right. Well, the next one is decades later. So prepare yourself for everyone to be much older. And by everyone, I mean Laurie Strode, because she's the only returning character whose face you can see. There are podcasters in the new one. Okay, bye guys. Ugh. Hey everybody, Sam Tom here. Just wanted to let you know that I have 2 channels. If you're watching my music content, I also have a movie channel where I talk about movies and TV shows. If you're watching my movie content, I have a music channel where I do song covers, instrument demos, things like that. So feel free to check that out. Obviously, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that YouTube stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.